I watched him sleep last night, the man I once adored, who promised me forever, then shattered it all with lies. He told me to be an adult, so I did. With evidence in one hand and heartbreak in the other, I made sure he lost everything, including me. Let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? And if you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to subscribe for more. Let me take you back to where it really began. My name is Anna. I'm 30 years old. Just a year ago, I thought I was living the dream, a life people envied. A love story they admired. My husband, Daniel, was everything I thought I wanted. Tall, magnetic, successful. The kind of man who could walk into any room and command it without saying a word. We had been together 8 years. Married for 3. Friends called us the perfect couple. They saw the curated smiles, the matching holiday sweaters, the Instagram-able life. And I believed in it too. But 3 months ago, the cracks began to show. It all started with a company tour. A 1-week business retreat in Aspen. Daniel said it was a leadership summit, part training, part networking. I remember packing his bags, ironing his shirts. He kissed me goodbye and promised to FaceTime every night. He didn't. The first few days, he sent short texts, busy day, call you later, and just crashed, long hike. By the 4th day, he went quiet. And when he returned, something was different. At the time, I couldn't explain it, just a feeling. But now, looking back, I know, that trip wasn't just the start of something new for him. It was the end of us. The silence came next, the kind that creeps in between words that used to be effortless. He stopped saying, "I love you" before work. No more forehead kisses in the morning. When I asked about his day, he'd offer clipped replies. Vague. Cold. His eyes no longer held mine. They darted, shifted. Like he was hiding something. Like he was hiding her. His phone became his shadow, never out of reach. He'd take late-night calls in the hallway, whispering as if the walls couldn't hear the betrayal bleeding through. And when I asked, gently, hesitantly, he'd chuckle. "Anna, it's just work. Don't be dramatic." But deep down I knew. Not the name. Not the details. But I knew. Then came the night everything changed. It was storming. One of those restless, violent nights where the sky feels like it's grieving with you. I stood by the window, watching rain beat against the glass like a warning. Daniel texted, "Late again. Networking dinner." He came home just after midnight, soaked in expensive cologne, eyes glassy from too much wine, tie loosened like a man satisfied. He muttered something about a long day, then collapsed onto the couch with a smug grin. His phone dropped to his chest. Unlocked. For once, it wasn't in his pocket. It was right there, glowing softly, like a dare. My heart pounded. I waited, watching his chest rise and fall. Then I reached for it. It unlocked with his thumbprint, the same thumb that once traced circles on my back during quiet Sunday mornings. The screen lit up. So many notifications. But one name caught my eye. James, client. I almost laughed. How lazy. How obvious. I opened the thread. And what I found. It gutted me. Can't stop thinking about last night's face-blowing kiss. You looked so damn sexy in that red set. I still hear the way you moan. Next time, leave your heels on. Photos. Videos. Her, in lingerie I'd never seen. In our bedroom. The same bed he once told me he was too tired to touch me in. The same sheets I'd cried into, wondering if I wasn't enough. And buried between the messages was a short video clip. A hotel room. Aspen. She was laughing. Wrapped in his dress shirt. He was behind the camera, whispering things I'll never unhear. That trip, the one I lovingly packed him for. That was where it all began. With a coworker. Her name was Sophie. She was new. Younger. A rising star in his firm. Apparently, their chemistry was obvious, to everyone but me. I closed the phone and sat in the dark, every part of me trembling, not just with pain, but with purpose. This wasn't going to end with me crying on the bathroom floor. This wasn't going to be the story where the wife gets replaced and forgotten. No. If Daniel wanted to play dirty, I'd show him just how clean revenge could look. And I'd start by making sure that everything he built on lies came crumbling down. One secret at a time. Shaky, dimly lit, but unmistakable. Daniel. And her. In hotel rooms I recognized from our own anniversaries, the same suites where he once toasted to our forever. Now they were replaying his betrayal, frame by agonizing frame. I don't know how long I sat there, scrolling. Minutes? Hours? Time dissolved around me. The only thing real was the fire consuming everything I thought was true. By the time the early gray light of dawn began to creep through the windows, I wasn't the same woman. I felt colder. Sharper. Like steel had replaced the softness in my chest. That's what betrayal does. It doesn't just break your heart, it rebuilds you out of ruin. He stirred awake just as the sky began to shift from night to morning. I was sitting at the edge of the bed, his phone in my lap, my eyes swollen but dry. No more tears. I'd spent them all. Anna, he mumbled, groggy and confused, squinting at the light. What are you doing? I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I simply walked over, dropped the phone into his lap, and took a step back. Read it, I said coldly. He blinked, still foggy from sleep. What is this? Read it. He glanced at the screen, and that was all it took. His whole body stiffened. His fingers trembled as he scrolled. Message after message. Photo after photo. The videos. The time-stamped receipts. The images of Sophie wearing the same necklace he gave me for our anniversary. I watched the color vanish from his face like a drain pulling everything he thought he controlled. His mouth opened slightly, no words came out. His throat worked as he swallowed hard. Then it started. The panic. Anna, wait. Let me explain. I said nothing. Please, just listen to me. I made a mistake. A huge mistake. I didn't mean for it to go this far. He reached for me, but I stepped back. I was confused, okay? We've been going through things. You've been distant. The audacity made my stomach churn. You're blaming me now? I asked, voice calm but deadly. No, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, things weren't perfect, and I was stupid. So stupid. He ran both hands through his hair. It didn't mean anything, Anna. It was just a distraction. I stared at him hollow. You told her you loved her, I said flatly. His mouth twitched. I didn't mean it. I was lying to her. I was always coming back to you. He stood, pleading now, eyes wide like a child caught in a lie. Please, baby. We can get through this. We're stronger than this. Don't throw away 8 years over something that doesn't even matter. He came closer again. I'll end it. I'll fix everything. I'll go to therapy. We can go together. I'll do whatever it takes. Please don't do this. That was the moment everything inside me turned to stone. Because I saw it, the shift in his eyes. When I didn't cry, when I didn't shout or throw things. He realized I wasn't begging. I was deciding. And that scared him more than anything. He dropped to his knees. Anna, please. I'm begging you. Don't ruin us. Don't ruin me. But I was already gone, emotionally, spiritually, miles away from the woman who used to love him. And that's when I knew. This wasn't just a man who made a mistake. This was a man who thought I'd never have the courage to walk away. A man who saw my silence as weakness. A man who only begged when he realized he had something to lose. But now, he was the one who should be scared. Because I wasn't going to cry over the fire he started. I was going to turn it into his funeral pyre. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them. Her hands on him. His smile, the one he used to give me, now meant for someone else. The sound of his voice whispering things to her he hadn't said to me in months. I felt like I was drowning, and no one even knew I was underwater. And for a moment, one terrifying moment, I thought about ending it. I thought about pills. About the ocean. About slipping away so silently that Daniel would only realize what he'd done when it was too late. But I didn't. Because deep inside the grief, something else was stirring. Not weakness. Not defeat. Something colder. The purpose. Because I knew if I was going to survive this, I wasn't going to survive it quietly. He thought I would just disappear. That I'd cry for a while, move back in with my parents, take half the money, and go quietly. That I'd be an adult about his betrayal while he walked away with the house, the career, the girl. He underestimated me. And he forgot something important. I knew him better than anyone else ever could. Which meant I also knew where to look. While he was at work the following week, I got to work too. I started with his laptop, which he, in all his arrogance, had left unlocked. It was all there. Emails to hotels. Flight reservations for 2. Dinner confirmations with her name tucked neatly under guest. Dozens of meetings he told me were for work, now revealed as lies spent in luxury suites and candlelit restaurants. He even had a folder labeled consulting expenses, thousands of dollars in bills for things that had nothing to do with business. Then I found something worse, a log. He'd kept notes on his lies. Literally. A list of things he told me to cover his tracks. Tell Anna I'm at regional conference, booked room under Marcus. Anniversary excuse, board meeting, send flowers on delay. Lingerie charge, claim it's a gift for HR, office prank. I sat there, staring at the screen, my hands numb. He hadn't just cheated. He had planned it. Every word. Every moment. Every excuse. That's when I found the credit card. Tucked inside a hollowed-out book on his office shelf. The same book he once pretended to read on lazy Sunday mornings beside me on the couch. It was a separate account. Hidden. Secret. But not from me anymore. I pulled the statements. Lingerie stores. Spas. Jewelry. Hotel bars. Thousands of dollars spent to impress a woman who wasn't his wife, while I was home paying the mortgage, planning dinners, keeping his world spinning. Her name was Sophie. I recognized it from a photo he once showed me at a company event, just a face in the crowd, smiling too hard, standing too close. I remembered thinking she looked harmless. She wasn't. She worked in HR for a firm Daniel's company partnered with. Their affair wasn't just personal, it was professional betrayal. He had broken not just our vows, but every line in his corporate contract too. But the part that made my stomach turn? Sophie was engaged. Set to marry someone else in just a few months. I didn't find that out right away. One night, while combing through Daniel's laptop, the one he thought I didn't know the password to, I came across a folder labeled Client HR Notes. Buried deep in an email thread between him and a colleague was Sophie's full name and professional profile. My hands were shaking as I copied it into a browser. What popped up made me freeze. Her LinkedIn showed her smiling in a sleek gray blazer, HR manager, East Coast Division. But it was the ring in her profile picture that caught my eye. A diamond. Not a fashion piece, an engagement ring. I blinked. I scrolled down. A post appeared from just 2 weeks ago, a photo of her with a tall man on a beach at sunset, captioned, "Forever starts soon, ring #engaged #wedding planning." The comments were full of congratulations, heart emojis, and gushing friends. Her fiancé looked kind. Naive. The kind of man who probably believed he'd found the woman of his dreams. My vision blurred with rage. Daniel wasn't just cheating on me. They were both playing roles in a disgusting theater of lies. She was planning centerpieces and cake flavors while sneaking into hotel rooms with my husband. At first, I considered walking away. I stared at the glowing screen and thought, maybe I should let karma deal with them. Maybe I should walk away with my head high and start over. But then I imagined her walking down the aisle, veil over her smiling face, clutching a bouquet with hands that had just been on my husband. I imagined that poor man, her fiancé, waiting at the altar, beaming with love, having no idea he was marrying a fraud. And I couldn't let it happen. No one deserves to be blindsided the way I was. To be kissed on the forehead by someone who's already betraying you behind your back. To be handed a lie, wrapped in a promise, and told it's love. That kind of pain, it stains. So when I found out about her, Sophie, I couldn't shake one thought. Someone else was being fooled, just like me. Her fiancé. The man waiting at home. Probably planning a future. Probably thinking she was working late, just like I did. He believed in her. The way I believed in Daniel. And that made me sick. I could have walked away. Let karma handle it. Let time unravel their lies. But then I remembered how it felt, sitting in silence, questioning my sanity while someone smiled and told me I was imagining things. No one deserves that. So, I did what needed to be done. I created a new email account. Anonymous. Untraceable. No fluff. No emotion. Just cold, clean truth. Then I hit attach. Photos of them in hotel lobbies. Screenshots of their texts. Receipts from restaurants. Recordings of his voice saying things he never whispered to me. In the body of the email, I wrote one line. I think you deserve to know who you're marrying. And at the end, if you want the rest, I'll tell you everything. Just say the word. He replied in under an hour. No introduction. No pleasantries. Just, please call me. My fingers trembled dialing the number. I wasn't sure what I expected, anger, denial, screaming. But when he answered, all I heard was heartbreak. His voice was soft. Hollow. He didn't sound shocked. He sounded tired. Like part of him had known all along, but didn't want it to be true. I had a feeling, he said quietly. The late nights, the canceled plans, she stopped looking at me the same. And then silence. The kind that only happens when someone's world is shifting under their feet. I told him everything. He listened without interrupting, only the occasional breath catching on the line. And when I finished, there was a long pause, followed by something I didn't expect. Thank you, he said. Not bitter. Not angry. Just broken. And grateful. In that moment, something inside me cracked open, not from pain, but from recognition. For the first time in the storm, I wasn't alone. We were both collateral damage in someone else's fantasy. We were both lied to by people who promised us forever. And now? Now we had something more powerful than pain. A shared purpose. They thought they could use us. Deceive us. Replace us. But what they didn't expect was that the ones they betrayed would find each other. And that we wouldn't just walk away. We'd walk back into the fire together. And we wouldn't come out until everything they built on lies burned. We decided to work together. While Daniel thought I was grieving in silence, I was planning a storm. I hired a private investigator, discreet, experienced, and thorough. Within days, she had photos of Daniel and Sophie kissing in public, sneaking into hotels, holding hands like newlyweds. She even recorded conversations of them mocking me, laughing about how I was too blind to notice, joking that I'd probably cry for a month, then bounce back. Every image, every clip, every word, it was gasoline on a growing fire. The investigator also followed Sophie. She sent me pictures of her trying on wedding dresses, beaming in front of a mirror as her mother adjusted the veil. I stared at those photos for a long time. She looked radiant, hopeful, almost innocent. But I knew what she'd done. I knew who she'd done it with. I couldn't forget her voice in the videos. Her laughter in hotel rooms that once belonged to my memories. And then came the final piece. The investigator planted a small bug in Daniel's car, voice activated, high quality. I listened to him tell Sophie in his own voice. Once the merger goes through, I'll file for divorce. I just need a clean exit so I don't have to split the shares. Anna's a parasite. Always clinging. I just need her out. That was it. That was the moment my love died. Whatever thread had remained snapped clean. There was nothing left to save. No heart left to break. Just a plan to finish. After that recording, I knew exactly what I had to do. No more hesitation. No more tears. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I was going to ruin him, thoroughly, legally, and permanently. He had planned his betrayal with careful precision. But so would I. I began by building a war chest. I bought a fireproof safe and locked away everything I had collected. Photos of him and Sophie, timestamped and geotagged. Videos of their hotel room trysts. Credit card statements showing thousands spent on luxury for her while I budgeted groceries. Emails detailing his fake business trips. The audio recording of him calling me a parasite. Then I created a dossier thick, neatly organized, professional. The kind of folder you'd hand to a lawyer or a board of directors. Every lie, every receipt, every betrayal. It was heavier than our wedding album. I made 4 copies. One for his boss, one for his parents, one for Sophie's now former fiancé, and one for him. I also set up a digital dead man switch. I created a secure cloud folder and scheduled an automatic email blast. If I didn't log in every 24 hours, it would send the entire dossier to dozens of people. His colleagues, our mutual friends, local journalists. I wanted him to know, if he so much as threatened me, he'd be nuking his entire existence. I waited until the perfect day, a Thursday night after one of his so-called client meetings. He came home late, humming, whistling, smug. He walked into the kitchen, loosened his tie, and poured himself a glass of wine, the same wine we once shared on anniversaries. I was waiting in the living room, dossier on my lap. "Daniel," I said, voice steady. "We need to talk." He barely looked at me. "Can it wait?" "I've had a long day." "No," I said. "This can't wait." I stood up, walked toward him, and handed him the dossier. His eyebrows furrowed, confused, then amused. Until he opened it. I watched his face shift. From arrogance to confusion. Then disbelief. Then fear. He flipped page after page. Photos. Screenshots. Receipts. Voice transcripts. He stopped at the audio log. I had it printed out, word for word. "Once the merger goes through, I'll file for divorce. I just need a clean exit so I don't have to split the shares. Anna's a parasite." His hands began to shake. The glass of wine trembled slightly. He looked up at me. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. I said nothing. I let him feel it, the weight of his own choices crashing down on him. Then, finally, he croaked, "Anna, where did you get all of this?" I tilted my head slightly. "Does it matter?" I stepped closer. Calm. Collected. "You're going to give me everything," I said. "The house. The cars. The vacation home. The investment accounts. You will sign the divorce papers tonight." He blinked. "Or what?" I leaned in and whispered, "Or everyone you know will wake up tomorrow with a copy of that folder in their inbox." He went pale. Dead pale. I could see it in his eyes, the calculation, the panic, the realization that this time he couldn't charm or cheat or lie his way out. "And before you try anything stupid," I added, "just know, if I don't check in on a server every 24 hours, the dossier goes live." He opened his mouth again, to protest, maybe threaten, but stopped. He saw it in my eyes. I meant every word. Then I delivered the final blow. "Oh, and Sophie?" I said softly. "Her fiancé knows. He sent me a thank you card. Her wedding's canceled. Her company is investigating her for ethics violations. She's done." Daniel dropped into the nearest chair like a man who'd been shot. His hands covered his face. He let out a guttural, broken sound I didn't recognize. I felt nothing. But I wasn't done. He needed to understand humiliation. I picked up my phone and sent a single message to everyone we knew, friends, neighbors, our couples group chat, even his golf buddies. "Just thought you should know what Daniel's been up to." I attached a photo, him and Sophie mid-kiss, hands all over each other outside a hotel. Then I put my phone down and sat across from him as the buzzes began. His phone lit up like wildfire. One after another. Texts. Missed calls. Voicemails. "Is this true? WTF, Daniel? You're disgusting. Don't ever contact me again." His face twisted into panic. Sweat darkened his shirt. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing like a caged animal. He dropped his phone, picked it up, dropped it again. His mother called. I heard her voice through the speaker, full of shame, anger, disbelief. "What have you done to your marriage? You've disgraced this family. We raised you better than this." He sobbed. His father tried to call next, but Daniel didn't pick up. Instead, he threw his phone against the wall. It shattered, just like everything else. By morning, his boss had received the dossier. An emergency board meeting was called. He was suspended indefinitely pending an internal investigation. Word spread fast. Some of his clients pulled out. Others issued statements about restructuring vendor relationships. His name, once respected in corporate circles, became synonymous with scandal. Sophie? Fired. Blacklisted. Her friends abandoned her. One of her bridesmaids even called me, sobbing. "I didn't know," she said. "I had no idea." Daniel tried one last time to intimidate me. He sent an email claiming he'd sue for emotional distress. I replied with 2 words, "Dead man switch." He never contacted me again. In the weeks that followed, his life unraveled. Creditors called daily. His car was repossessed. Friends stopped replying. He was forced to move out of the house, my house now. The divorce finalized quickly. The evidence was so damning his lawyers begged him to settle. He signed everything away, his hand shaking so badly the signatures looked like a child's scribble. I moved into the seaside vacation home, the one he promised would be our forever escape. And in a way, it was. I escaped. The first night there, I lay in bed with the windows open. The sound of crashing waves filled the room like a lullaby. I cried, not out of sadness, but release. For the first time, I was free. In the quiet that followed the chaos, the screams, the betrayal, the ruin, there was only silence. Not the kind that hurts, the kind that heals. In the weeks after everything fell apart, I did the unthinkable. I began again. Not as his wife. Not as his victim. But as the woman who walked through fire and came out whole. Some mornings, anger still burned. Other days, sorrow slipped in like a shadow. But every sunrise without him felt cleaner. Freer. I started therapy. At first, I said nothing. But when I finally spoke about the lies, the pain, the revenge, I told her I felt cruel. She shook her head and said, "You didn't become cruel. You became clear." Daniel once told me to be an adult about his affair. He meant, stay silent. Shrink. Let me hurt you in peace. But I didn't. I didn't beg him to love me. I made him pay for the lies. He didn't just lose me. He lost everything, his career, his reputation, his security. And the version of me that once believed in him, that woman is gone. Forever. Months passed. I stopped checking on him. Until one sunny afternoon, stopped at a red light, I saw a man on the corner. Ragged jeans. Tired eyes. A cardboard sign. Anything helps. It was Daniel. He saw me. Our eyes locked. His lips parted, maybe to plead, maybe to explain. I didn't say a word. Just smiled, calm, serene, free. Then the light turned green. And I drove away. They say revenge makes you no better than the one who hurt you. But when it's done with truth, not cruelty, it's not revenge. It's reclamation. A reminder that betrayal has a cost. So if you're listening, if someone shattered your trust and made you feel small, hear this. You are not broken. You are the reckoning. You are the storm. And you are your own closure. And in the end, the best revenge was becoming the woman he never imagined I could be. Anna, do you think she did the right thing? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your feedback. And if you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more.